through Afromedia radio and social media channels. The viewpoint here transcends the narrow constraints of traditional media. In the human story, we take sides. Leading personalities are interviewed. We conduct professional reviews and reports. The original content we produce is created and presented by international journalists. You can only watch Canadian Afromedia channels. It was and still is a very enriching experience to interact with you. All opinions are welcome, but they are not our views, and we assume no responsibility.
Ready to be inspired by the amazing stories of best-selling authors and filmmakers? Afromedia offers an engaging media platform so you can begin your journey today. Explore our website now and let yourself be moved by the incredible tales of these incredible creatives.
In the coming show, we will have a guest from South Africa who is both an author and a speaker. The CEO of the African portal Radio TV International based in South Africa. Further, he is also an author, motivational speaker, model, and businessman. He also studied journalism at the University of Pennsylvania. He is the founder of and member of several organizations advocating for the African state and African development.
Marketing advertisements with Afromedia, the best choice. You can count on Afromedia for your commercials. In international languages, Afromedia broadcasts. There are a number of platforms available through Afromedia Canadian network, such as the radio and social media. Afromedia for your outstanding performance. English, Arabic, and French advertisements for your business. Mastery is created together.
أفروميديا للدعايات العامة. أفروميديا للإعلانات التجارية. أفروميديا باللغات الدولية. شبكة أفروميديا الكندية. الإذاعة والميديا الاجتماعية. أفروميديا من أجلكم. أفروميديا من أجل تميزكم في أدائكم باللغات العربية والفرنسية والإنجليزية. معا نصنع التفوق والتميز.
Publicité marketing avec Afromedia, le meilleur choix. Vous pouvez compter sur Afromedia pour vos publicités. En langues internationales, Afromedia diffuse. Il existe un certain nombre de plateformes disponibles par l'entremise d'Afromedia Canadian Network, comme la radio et les médias sociaux. Afromedia pour votre performance exceptionnelle. Publicité en anglais, arabe et français pour votre entreprise. La maîtrise est créée ensemble.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, joining us. We are live and direct from here in Victoria, South Africa, and it's coming to you live and direct from Afromedia Canada, from all the way from Canada. And we are going to be having the conversation with my guest in the studio that we're going to be doing this together. I really appreciate every one of you connecting with us. I greet you according to your time zone, and I greet you according to your language. Welcome to another great time this hour. I believe my guest is already in the studio with me, that we're going to be having this conversation together. And if you are connecting with us, please kindly share, like, comment, let it go viral. The more you share it, the more you give it opportunity to go viral. I appreciate, I see a lot of people connecting. Please don't step out of this conversation. It's going to be a great time. Join me to welcome my guests into this beautiful hour on the Afromedia Canada and also on the Africa Portal Radio TV International. And it's going to be my pleasure if the people in the studio can make this thing narrow. I will really appreciate it so that we can be able to see more details. All right. Thank you very, very much. That will show more details of what it is from our studio here. I have about 24 people watching at the moment, but it can increase. It doesn't need to be decreased. So please keep sharing it, keep sharing it, keep sharing it. This is Africa, and let's talk about ourselves. Africa is our business, and Africa is where we belong. So join me to welcome this great African queen on this special day, as I welcome the founder and one of the author, one of the great women of our time, all the way from Southern Africa. I have opportunity and privilege to welcome Nampuleko onto this program. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing, Joshua. Thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure to always connect with you. And I'm just so excited to be here today.
Wow, I'm so excited as well to have you on board. This is Africa on Camera, and this is one of the show trending on our space. This is one of the show that is going viral. This is where we put Africa back on the spotlight, and this is where we celebrate and promote African products. So if you are connected with us, if you love Africa, if you believe in Africa, you will stay tuned on this program. You will keep sharing it. You will not step out. You will increase the number of the viewers, and you will keep on sharing it, because Africa is our business. We are not Africa because we are born in Africa. We are Africa because Africa is born in us. So those of you who believe in Africa, keep sharing this program, keep sending it out, keep increasing the number of the viewers, keep doing it together. And we appreciate you if you can invite friends, family all over the world to join this broadcast, because it's time for Africa to rise beyond the challenges. It's time for Africa to let their voice be heard. And it's time for Africa to tell their story by themselves. In time past, some people gather themselves together telling the wrong story about Africa. We are here to change the narrative. We are here to tell the story of Africa. Africa is a great continent. It doesn't matter the damage that is done to Africa. Africa have rise against all the challenges, all the mineral resources, all the crude oil, all the raw materials in Africa have been taken away to build other parts of the world. And it's time for Africa to start enjoying what belongs to them. It's time for Africa to stood against every power, every other country that is leveraged on African resources and destroy Africa for them to rise. It's time for Africa to rise against all this. And this is Africa on Camera. Thank you, everyone. Let me give you the privilege to meet my guest in the studio. She's author, and the book is I Celebrate My Skin. Before we continue, I just want the people in the studio in Canada, can you please kindly help me to display some of the picture so that we can have an idea of what is coming on this program? Kindly help me show some of the picture. I'm expecting a lot of people to join this conversation. You don't need to step out of this conversation if you believe in Africa. You need to share this program if truly Africa is also your concern. If what is happening in Africa is a concern to you, it's good for you to share it. Look at Africa from the west, from the south, from the central. Not peaceful, no progress. Africa is still behind the plan. Why? Because we believe that the resources of Africa is been taken over by others, and what rightfully belongs to Africa is being marginalized by others. And Africa, we are now saying that it's time for us to enjoy the God's blessing. Enough of you taking our raw materials to your own continent to develop your continent. Enough of making us a slave to you. Enough of creating a system that will destroy Africa. Enough of you making Africa a place where people will not be able to stay in their country until when they run to your country before they can survive. Enough of that. Africa wants to stay in Africa. Africa wants to live in Africa. Africa wants to succeed in Africa. So I celebrate my voice and I celebrate my skin. Let me put this lady on the spotlight right here, right now, to talk about this. All right, great woman of our time. Let me first say that happy Women's Month to you, and happy Mother's Day to other people celebrating Mother's Day around the world. Let's go to the business of the day. Let's quickly talk about yourself. If I may ask, I just want you to introduce yourself to the listeners at home, who you are, where you are, and the position you hold in the society.
Yeah. Thank you, Joshua. And yes, my name is Nonkugunen Adumetem. I am currently based in Chicago. I was born in Switzerland, Eswatini. And I am so excited to be here. I do a little bit of things. I actually wear a lot of hats. I am a mom. I'm a wife. but I also write children's books. And my two children's books that have been published today, I Celebrate My Skin, I Celebrate My Voice. And I also have coloring and activity books, and actually puzzles and toys that go with the books as well. My day job is I am actually in healthcare. I am a director of population health data analytics at Christiana Care. So I do wear a lot of hats. I'm in healthcare, I write, I'm a business owner, and I do a lot of things, but all of those things that I'm doing really, it's because I want to influence others. I want to show others that it's possible. We come from different places. We all don't have enough sometimes, but when you work hard and really put your mind to it, anything is possible. And that's why I keep going what I'm doing and really spreading the message as well.
All right, thank you all. I really appreciate every one of you that you are sending your comments. Your comment is actually very important on this program. And as you are commenting, remember you are the co-host of this program. So keep commenting, keep sharing it, increase the viewers. We can do it together. We can let it go viral. So keep sharing it, keep talking about it. And I really appreciate every one of you in the studio. I thank you for your patience, and I thank you for love. And I thank you for believing in this program. And I really celebrate every one of you. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. All right, let me use this time to greet everyone, no matter where you are, no matter the country you reside. Within Africa, in South Africa, Dubela, Ashe, Moloi, in northern part of Africa and the rest part of the world. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And in the East Africa, Aparisa, in East Africa, you are still in afternoon, Aparisa Muchana. To everyone in East Africa and in other parts of the world, I greet you. If you are speaking French, if you are speaking English, I greet you. In Jerusalem, shalom to everyone, and shalom to all the Christians, no matter where you are. I celebrate every one of you. Thank you for being here. My name remains Dare OLUSAN. Let's do it together. Let's roll it together. Let's jingle it together. Let's go into the business of the day. Let's see the voice. I celebrate my voice. Let's see the skin. My skin. I celebrate my skin. Let's talk about it. Yes, woman, let's quickly look at your books, which is trending, doing very well out there. What motivates you to this? And what you want to tell the world about this book? It's a children's book, but it's a book that everyone needs to have a copy.
Yeah, I think it's like really a children's book for young children. And the motivation behind this is to really help young children to learn to know that they have a voice and they are enough and beautiful just the way they are. While this book honestly is for young children, I truly believe the message is also speaks to adults. It's a very powerful message that reminds us that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you look like, you matter. You are enough just the way you are, and your voice matters. And so these books are really empowering for everybody to learn to embrace who they are, because I truly believe that until you do that, you really won't be successful in life or happy or fulfilled. And so it's very important to embrace who you are, your mistakes, your failures, everything. Embrace who you are. And that's when you're able to really move up and be better and really do what you need to do and follow your purpose as well.
Wow, wow, wow. We live in Africa that many people seems not too happy with their skin. Many people believe that until when they're bleached, they want to look like other people. They don't want to look like me the way I'm so black. Some people want to look like other people. I don't know for what reason, and I don't know why. What's your view about this? And is this one of the reasons why you put this book together?
Yeah. One of the reasons that why I put this book was I wanted to show that, we are all very different, Joshua. Our skin looks different, even though it may be black, right? Our skin tones are very different. But that's the beauty of being individuals. That's the beauty of uniqueness. When we come together, we create this beauty. If we're all the same, if we're all alike, there's nothing fun in the world, right? And so, like, these books are really trying to show that everybody is different. We all have different shades of skin, But when we come together, we make a beautiful rainbow. We make a beautiful unity of the human being, of the human race. And so it's very important to embrace who you are just the way you are, because you have a space in that puzzle of making humanity better and beautiful. And so I don't believe in changing our skin color, doing anything else to your skin, because then you're really creating more problems than you are solving, I will say.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Let's talk more about what you just mentioned now, that creating more problem than solving the problem. Let's
Mhm.
look at it. In your own research and in your own personal experience, what do you think it makes people to think of toning their skin or putting cream in their skin to look different? What do you think is causing this? Can we call it inferiority complex, or can we call it a fashion?
I mean, I would definitely, I wouldn't call it inferiority complex. I would just call it struggling to accept who you are. Like, we are born the way you are, like, no matter what you do, that's just who you are. And so if you struggle to accept who you are and trying to change that, whatever God has given you, that creates a problem, right? If you think about it, when you try and move something it's where it was supposed to be or what it's supposed to be, the next phase of it is not stable, right? Because you're depleting some of the nutrients or depleting some things around that old state. And so I honestly think it's really a lack of self-esteem, a lack of self-love, and also just not being okay with who you are. And that's a problem to me, because no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you're always gonna be that person, right? Even if you change your skin, that's you're always gonna be you. So why try and change the outside? Like, I think what matters the most is who you are on the inside, the humanity, the kindness, the humility that you share as a person. Those are all qualities that are very important. But I think sometimes we place so much emphasis on our outside that we lose sight of what's truly important, which is really who you are on the inside. And unfortunately, it's kind of common. And I think part of the problem is that we stigmatize people for looking different than from us. We label people from looking different from us, and instead of embracing them, loving them, accepting them just the way they are, we always try to create these labels and create different things. And so, which is why I do what I do, just because from an early age, I am hoping to teach children to be accepting and to be loving of who they are, just the way they are. If we start talking to them from an early age, I am hoping that as they grow older, they have a strong foundation of embracing differences, embracing who they are just the way they are. That's how I believe we can make the world a better place.
All right, let me quickly take you back to the line of history. You are coming from a background that you believe in Africa, you believe in your culture, you believe in your language, you believe in your originality. Where do you get this? Is this something that you pick up from the family, or is this something that you realize in the journey of life later in your life?
I mean, it's a journey that I have. Like, it's what my father taught me and my parents, what they taught me, right? Don't forget who you are. Remember where you come from. And so just being okay with who you are, I think it's a very important foundational education for every child, because no matter where you go, what you face, what you see, who you become, you will always know who you are, where you come from, and embrace that. And so for me, that's part of me that I will never take away, because I am African, I am Swazi, right? And so that's a very beautiful part of who I am, and I need to embrace it, because that's where I come from. And I think really my parents did instill that celebration of who you are from an early age. It was very important for me, and that's what I want to teach my children and future generations as well.
All right, beautiful, beautiful, and I like that. I like that you have a tracking record. Your parents already put that in you to let you understand that you are the best. Your skin is the best. Your voice is the best. your language is the best. Let's connect that with the issue of the way the African language is disappearing these days. You realize that a lot of people are more convenient, or let me say, more okay with other language than their own original language. Let's talk a bit about that, because this is in connection with your book, with you trying to make sure that the little one understand their culture, understand their skin, and also believe in themselves. Let's look at the area of language, how the language, especially the African language, is disappearing. And can we also attach this with self-esteem, or can we attach this to inferiority complex?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that, Joshua. I think sometimes it becomes a convenience, like if let's say you speak a certain language, it's become a convenience. So sometimes it's very hard, like to teach younger generations, our African languages. But I do urge, it's so funny because even though sometimes it's hard, I know for my kids even, I try to put in a few words, right? We always listen to African music, dancing to African music, and there's other ways to celebrate it. Sometimes it may be very hard to teach young children in future generations like certain languages, but at least I think letting them know the culture, keeping that culture alive, either through music, through other areas, so that they know where they come from and they can go back and learn eventually. I honestly think, Joshua, it's more of just like the ease of things, right? Sometimes it's very hard to like make the time and make sure things are done, especially if it's like people are speaking different languages in the home. Like spending the time to like really teach the languages is something that is very important that everybody should be working hard at. Yeah.
All right. I want to please to the team in the studio to please let's quickly go for a break and kindly put the show back as it is at the beginning, and let's hear what you have for us in the studio.
Afromedia Canada en direct d'Ottawa, la capitale du gouvernement fédéral canadien. Nous avons présenté l'histoire non couverte sur nos plateformes radio et médias sociaux. Un grand merci à vous d'avoir partagé la vôtre avec nous. C'est toujours une expérience mémorable que d'accueillir une personnalité de premier plan ou de débattre d'un sujet d'intérêt commun. Toutes les opinions sont les bienvenues. Toutefois, elles ne reflètent pas les opinions des chaînes Afromedia. Nous ne sommes pas responsables des conséquences juridiques éventuelles. Afromedia.
Avec Afromedia France, vous êtes au cœur de l'actualité en Mauritanie. Afromedia France, une couverture exclusive et des perspectives uniques sur les événements les plus importants. Afromedia France. Ne manquez rien de l'affaire Aziz et suivez en direct toutes les étapes de son procès grâce à notre couverture juridique en profondeur. Restez informés et ne ratez aucun développement crucial avec Afromedia France, votre source fiable. Avec Afromedia France,
vous recherchez des informations fiables et actualisées sur les histoires africaines? Afromedia France.
All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You are doing a great job there in the studio in Canada. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. You can put it back. You don't need to put the picture on now. Let's just put the, yes, thank you very, very much. All right, if I need the picture, I will definitely ask for it. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go into your book. Why is it important that all the children, especially born outside Africa, needs to get a copy of your book?
Yeah, I would say honestly, the book is very important for all children in Africa and outside of Africa, because it does actually celebrate and embrace the beauty of Africa from the illustrations. And so you can see exactly how beautiful Africa is from the pictures that you get. And importantly, the book teaching us self-esteem. I think as a woman growing up in Africa, sometimes we are not given that boost to really like celebrate who we are, to love who we are, or use our voices. And these books are very foundational in inspiring children, regardless of where they are, Joshua, to really learn to love who they are, accept who they are, and feel empowered to celebrate who they are. You know, when we all come together and really be who we are and celebrate who we are, I truly believe we can achieve so many things, right? We can give the world so much more. And so these books are important because they teach you those foundations of what it means to really love and celebrate who you are and why it's important to do that from an early age.
All right. Okay. Then let's look at the pictures in the book. How do you get some of those pictures that you are using, and what are the ideas? Or let me put it this way: do you have a team that is doing a kind of research for you on what to put together or what to say? Tell us a bit about the production aspect of it.
Yeah, it's the first book. Actually, both of the books. It's really a different production. Honestly, I had a vision. Like, so I think I've shared this with you on previous stations. Like when I started to write, I was really in a dark place. I just lost my father, and I was really healing from a trauma that I faced as a child. And so when I really was starting to write, it was really messages that I was also sharing to myself. And I had vivid, ideas on how to do those. So for I Celebrate My Skin, I designed the whole book from cover to cover. Like I literally kind of asked I had my illustrator who I was working with, like, this is what I'm looking for. I want to see jacaranda trees. I want to see rivers. I want to see mountains. I just want to bring out the life of home in the books. And so that's kind of like my theme, really, because then as young kids are looking at these things, right, they can ask the questions around the culture. Why is this kid in the river? What's he doing in the water, right? We grew up washing our clothes in the water. Like just kind of sharing that story without actually telling that story, but it comes as the questions and the curiosity that comes with that. I think one of the books that I have, I drew a kid climbing a tree, right, all the way up. It was like a fruit tree or something like that, right? Just kind of like showing that we used to climb trees all the time, right, to get that mango or like to pick up some grapes or some avocados and stuff like that. Just really sharing a little bit of an African childhood without saying that full story, right? But so that's like my idea in the pictures. I did design a lot of them just because I wanted to make sure that I can share a little bit of how a child grows up in Africa in different ways. And so just really highlights little pieces around that. So it makes a cultural education in addition to what the book is all about as well.
Okay. What are the progress that you have achieved in between the time that we have engagement, I think it's about 2 years now, and now? What are the achievements that you can tell us that this is the progress and this is where we are now compared to where you are 2 years ago?
Yeah. Oh wow. So much, Joshua. I can't even I can't even I can't even start. But I've been so lucky that I have been featured in so many newspapers around the country in the United States. I think I even got my paper, like I got even published in the UK, also in India, just kind of spreading the word around my books. And today I do have my books almost all over the world, in Asia, in Africa, all over the world. Honestly, they're being sold there, and I know like there's people in libraries too across the country and across the world that has my books as well. And it's been really a blessing. And I think the biggest thing that I've been noticing, I've been able to really visit different schools, meet different children, just to see the excitement and the message that they're getting from this book. It's very inspiring, and it's given me hope to really push and keep working hard to make sure that every child sees themselves in their books, but more importantly, know that they are enough and they can do absolutely anything they set their mind to.
Wow, wow, wow. I really appreciate that, because I remember 2 years ago when we had the conversation, we didn't talk about this achievement, and I thank you for believing in what you are doing, and I thank God for those progress that you just mentioned now. All right, let me take you to the aspect of this interview that is very, very important, and that is one of the things that I believe so much in, especially in this program. I want to take you right away from the system where you're in now, and I want to bring you back to Africa, to the system where you grew up from, I just want you to come into the level of being an African woman in African continent. You will speak your language, you will greet everybody in your own local language, your own local dialect, and you let them know that you are right here on the African port and they need to support what you are doing now. And you need to tell them also about your book, that this book needs to be everywhere in Africa. This is not about your own home country, because we have removed the borders that separate us in Africa. The borders they put around us in Africa is one of the systematic idea to put us in the cage. So I don't believe in all that. We believe in Africa. We believe in who we are, because we are first Africa before we become whatever we become. So let them know that you are back in Africa. Let them know that you are proud to be an African woman. Tell them in your language.
Yes, that's a lot of words, Joshua. But Sanbonani, Sanbonani, Sanbonani nonke Maswati, Sanbonani nonke in Africa. I'm so ngejabula balana, and Joshua, angathi ukuthi ngawukhuluma kangakanani, but I want to share my books with everybody. So ngathi dami le kala, I celebrate my skin. Leti kothi leti mcoka for bamfana, because tibafundisa ukuthi thanza, tibafundisa ukuthi bona njengoba bangjalo bahle bafune batithanze njengoba banjalo. And so leti ncwadi leti timcoka kakhulu for bamfana, and I'm encouraging ukuthi wonke umuntu vele abe nayo le ncwadi ekhaya noma ayilandze e-library ayisebenzise, because timcoka ukuthi bafundise bamfana. And let's see, Joshua, what else?
Now, what else is to let them know that you are from here, even though the environment where you are now already taking some of the ideology of how you grow up and what your language is already like making it not to be 100%, but still tell them more about this book, what you put together in it, and the importance of our skin.
Yeah.
Why we need to celebrate it. We need to celebrate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just, ukukombisa like the ncwadi, just the first few pages. Really, the idea is ukukombisa ukuthi simunye. We look different. We sing the same different songs. We have different hair, but at the day we are one. Simunye. And these books, the message is to show that, and really like kombisa a culture for others, that our culture is powerful and it's very important. And at the day we come together and we become one humanity, right? That's where the sense of Ubuntu comes in the piece as well. I'm trying to find one other picture over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. And that is one of the things I believe now. Last week we also have a guest on this program from UK. She's one of the great women, did so well. We are putting women on the spotlight of this program since 3 weeks ago, because it's Women Month and we need to celebrate them. We need to give them the voice and the time to make sure that they showcase what they are doing. And the lady was talking about Ubuntu as well. And that's the picture that you just show now. Ubuntu means we are because you are. Okay, let's talk a bit about the culture of where you're coming from. What happened in the morning when you wake up as a female child? What is exactly you do? First thing in the morning when you wake up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot happens. I think our culture, Joshua, doesn't really promote women or believe in women or really believes the value of women. I remember us, growing up rural, back home in the rural areas. Sometimes boys will just hit us, like beat us up for no reason, just because they said hello and I didn't respond or something like that. And so I think sometimes we take away the dignity of a woman at home. But actually, in fact, studies have shown that African women, the African girl child, is really the hope for the future. Because another day, like when an African child, girl child, gets educated, they come home and help the community. And so I think it's very interesting to see that. And I hope this has changed, Joshua. But I think for the most part, I feel like we do not empower women. We always I always remember like how just even recently I was thinking about this, like this, the true cultural names for women, like, if a woman does something, or if a woman wears short skirts, or if a woman does this, there's all these really bad words that they are said to these women just because, but when a guy does the same thing, right, it's a different story. So I will say, as a girl child growing up at home, it's very hard. It's different. You don't really get a lot of empowering. I feel like you have to push to be heard. You have to push to be seen. You have to be pushed to be respected. I think things are getting better, but that's really the reality, unfortunately, of how things are today, at least in my country.
In another way, for us to change the narrative is one of the things that we've been doing since over 3 weeks now. We are giving women opportunity to be on this program, for them to also tell the world about what they are doing, and also their contribution to the community. Let's look at the being a child in where you grow up from. What are the things that you normally do in those days when you are growing up as a child that you are enjoying, and when you remember it now, you are missing it? You are like, wow, how I wish I go back to that age and still have that kind of thing. Can you tell us any of that?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, Joshua, just really enjoying the simple things, like sometimes we'll go out without electricity, and right, we didn't have books, but we'd be laughing in the dark, telling stories in those little candles that were lighting, right? And it was just simple, genuine happiness. I remember sometimes when we didn't have dolls, that didn't stop us. We'll pull like roots, from the trees, like from like weeds, and make like some dolls from that, braid their hair, like the roots will be their hair. Like we're able to really be innovative and make the most of what we had, and still have fun, and not feel like we're missing out on something. I would say like those it's very important to keep that, because I think sometimes we look so much on forward, what I wish I have in the future, instead of enjoying what you have today. And so what I can say is, as a child growing up back home, I feel like we really spent a lot of time enjoying what we had, the little thing that we had, the weeds, right, making games with stones, and just really being creative in creating the fun for ourselves. It's really true. It's like speaks test, volumes around being okay with where you are. It doesn't mean that you're not working towards the future, but you're just happy where you are while you're working to get to wherever in the future. And I think that's very important in today. Sometimes we lose sight of that. I'm guilty. We lose sight of that, but the simple things are very important to enjoy and embrace in life.
Wow. Do you still remember some of the songs that you normally sing in those days? And do you still remember some of the game? We have some indoor game that we always do in those. Do you still remember all that? Or do you still thinking putting all that in any of your book in times to come?
I did. That's a good idea. It's so funny. I went to my son's school maybe like about a month ago, and I taught them one of the games we used to play. We used to play back home. Oh my goodness, they had so much fun, and I was teaching them, we had to go over the words like ube, lion, and so I was teaching them all of these words. They just had a blast, and so I think part of my mission is to really incorporate different cultural education in my books. I may not be highlighting the specific games today, but it's something that I'm definitely interested in passing it on to a generation, my kids, to know about this game, know about the culture, just knows about the simple things that really make life so worth it, right? I think sometimes like, kids, where we're growing up today, like they have running water. I mean, they have everything. It's very hard to think about a life without all of those things. So somehow teaching them, we watch a lot of documentaries too, teaching them that this like life different from yours, what the life looks what the life looks like, and why it's important for you to be always grateful. And so those are the things that I try to instill and really share, just to show that it's not always the same way as you're seeing it today. Things that can be different for other children outside of this world. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That is another assignment for you. You remember that anytime I engage you, I always have one assignment or the other to make sure that it's getting better and better and better. Okay, I don't even know that you in your son or your children's school few weeks back to tell them about the game and stuff like that. But let's quickly look at your book. It's time to make money now. It's time to put your book on the spotlight. You are right here on Afro Media Canada, Africa on camera, and you are the voice that is telling a story by herself. This is not that somebody is telling a story on your behalf and saying that, I know, Africa, people are living side by side with monkeys and all that kind of funny things to scare other for them not to be related to Africa, to scare other for them not to come to Africa. You are telling your story the way it is now, and this is what we want to achieve. We want to give Africa opportunity to tell their story by themselves without anyone being able to change the story or be able to tell the story other way around. Okay, now let the world know how we can get your book. Your book, how we can get it, how we can get in touch with it. Where is this book? How can people in Africa, how can people in the world get this book? Let's make money now.
Yes, so people in Africa can get the book. I have it in Swaziland. I also think I have sent a few copies in Kenya, because I do have family there. But any bookstore, any library in the world can actually order this book online. And so you can order them through Ingrams. You can also order them on Amazon. You can also order them from my website. But you can also have access to this book directly from your country through the bookstores or through the library, because when they search on their systems, if you ask for this book, I Celebrate My Skin and I Celebrate My Voice, which I have it up there. When you ask for the book from them, they have in their system, the book is available for them to look up and pull it up. So when you ask for that book from their bookstore, they can actually get it for you anywhere in the world. They're able to get it for you. My website, nonkuscorner.com, Nonku, NonkuScorner, so Nonku's Corner is also where you can get these books on Amazon, honestly, anywhere in the world. I will encourage people to just search the titles of the books and they'll be able to see where locally find the books. So if you go to Google or if you search in the internet, I Celebrate My Voice, I Celebrate My Skin, something should show up to kind of tell you where you can find these books. Any bookstore should be able to order these books for you anywhere in the world.
All right. I Celebrate My Voice is one of the books that I've not really have so much time to put on the spotlight. We have a conversation about the first one, but let's talk about the voice, because your voice is also one of the tools that you can use for your freedom. And when we are talking about the freedom, we are not talking about the abusing the freedom. We are not talking about the people that they believe in using their voice to say things that is not palatable or things that hurt others. We are talking about the voice that is crying for liberty, freedom, and that is crying for the progress of Africa. If Africa gets it right, if Africa become a continent whereby the citizen can step back within the Africa and grow within the Africa, that would be a blessing to other parts of the world as well. So let's talk about my voice. What is going on in your mind when you are putting this together, and what it is that you want to achieve, especially for the kids that will be reading it? What is your target when you are putting it together?
So my target for this book was really to show everybody has a voice. I think a lot of us, how I was telling you earlier, as an African girl child growing up, I felt silence. I didn't feel like I had a voice. You have things happen to you, you just keep quiet. You don't talk or you don't share anything. And so in this book, really, I wanted to highlight that anybody, doesn't matter who you are, you have a voice, and that voice come up in different ways, right? You talk about liberty, you talk about freedom, but a voice is also saying that you also has something special about you, right? It might be talking, it might be drawing, it might be singing. There's something special about every single person in this world, and it may look very different, right? It's not the same. We're not all singers, we're not all dancers, we're not all writers, we're not all the same things, right? Everybody has a unique way of showing up in this world, of expressing who they are and how they feel. And so this book just really talks about how it's important to understand that we're all individuals, we're all very different, but we also have a voice, and that voice matters. No matter how it looks like, it matters. And so that's what I want to encourage young kids, honestly, even adults, that they have a voice. We always talk about finding our voice, right? Something that happens when we're older, like I'm finding my voice, I'm learning myself, like about myself. But really, a voice is from early on, is to know that a kid that's shy, that doesn't want to talk but likes to draw, that's his way of expressing himself. He doesn't have to, I think sometimes we expect children to act a certain way. We put them in buckets because we think that's what success looks like, instead of allowing them to be who they are. Because when they express who they are, how they feel, just the way they are, they can do anything. They feel comfortable in being themselves in the world. They feel comfortable in their skin. They feel comfortable in anything about them. So they're able to show up in this world just the way they are. And so this is what the book is trying to do, just to help children, help everybody show up in this world just the way they are, and knowing that that's enough. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Knowing that that is enough. Okay, to everyone listening to us, thank you very much for the pleasure of your time. And those of you commenting, I really appreciate it. You are the co-host of this program. I have with me author of 2 books that is crying for the freedom of Africa, that is encourage Africa to believe in their skin, and also telling them to believe in their voice. Your voice is who you are, and your skin is what God gave to you to also showcase to the world that you are comfortable. I love my skin, and I love who I am. So your originality, your personality, who you are, is something that you need to embrace. You don't need to be someone else. You don't need to carry another person's image. Just be comfortable with who you are and with what God has given to you. Don't let other people skin or other people philosophy be what will take you away from your originality. And I have with me the author in the house that we are doing justice to this conversation. And she's already let us know that one of the best things you can do for yourself is to believe in your skin. And one of the things you can do is to make sure that your voice, you can speak to the world and speak good things to yourself. Your voice is also one of the things that can bring change to your life, to your situation, and to your community. So don't keep quiet. Let your voice, because you need to look inwardly to see what talent God has given to you. Like she mentioned, we cannot all be musicians. We cannot all be the dancer. But there's something unique about you. There's something special about you. There's something great about you. Discover yourself and develop that, and use that as a tool for your progress. She's doing her best, even though she's not based here in Africa. She's based in diaspora, and with that, she's still doing great. She still believes in her culture. She still believes in Africa. As you can see, she still dressed in Africa. She dressed Africa, eats Africa, and speak Africa. And that is one of the things that I encourage everyone listening to me to do. Believe in Africa, speak Africa, eat Africa, dress Africa. And that will bring Africa back to the limelight. And that will help Africa to rise above the challenges they are facing now. All right, Nokuleko, before we call it a day out of this program, I just quickly want you to let the world know, where do you see yourself in the next coming 5 years? I asked this question 2 years ago, and to God be the glory, there have been a lot of progress that we can number one by one. But let's talk about coming 5 years. Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, I mean, in the next 5 years, Joshua, like I'm hoping that I am building my website. I am building my products. I've added puzzles. I am adding a lot of things. I really want to have play for children, be natural, be inclusive. In everything that children they do, they touch, they play with, I want them to see themselves in their in their toys and everything. And so in the next 5 years, I really want to hopefully have built an empire that celebrates individuality, that celebrates diversity, that celebrates differences, you know, like the things that we doesn't look the same, but able to bring it all together. And that's really what I'm hoping, and I'm working towards, really to build an empire that will celebrate Africa, celebrate our individuality.
Okay, let's put these two books side by side. Let's talk about the acceptability now. Which one that you can say that, oh wow, these books, I love both of them, but people love one than the other? I mean, I don't want to put one down. I just want us to see, because we can also learn from that. Let us know which one is trending more out of the two books.
You know, it varies, Joshua. I would say for sure, it's like my voice that speaks to a lot of people, because it talks about individuality, and we all struggle to accepting who we are. We all struggle to be comfortable in our differences. And so I know like a lot of people always like talking about that, and they really like it resonate with them. And just kind of how it's written, it does help tell the story in a very nice way to show that there's just so much you can do in this world, no matter what you look like, how different you are. That difference is your superpower, and that's really what the book is trying to teach.
Okay, everyone listening to us, Nokuleko is on the social media. She's available at any time, and I'm encouraging all the parents. This is a children book. I encourage all the parents, please go out there, go and grab a copy for your children. It will help them, especially here in Africa. It's available on Amazon, and it's available in Africa here. And if you go to any library or any bookstore in Africa, they'll be able to order it and deliver it to your doorstep. So please, kindly go out there, support Nokuleko, be part of the great work she's doing in diaspora. She may be part of the great work that she is doing in the continent of Africa. Let's do it together. Let's promote ourselves. Let's believe in ourselves. And let's celebrate our uniqueness and our diversity. That will bring joy and progress to us as an Africa. All right, where do you get your beautiful African attire? Are you ordering them from Africa here, or you have a store in America where you go to get this, or you are planning to also have a store in Africa, in America, where we'll be selling Africa products?
Actually, I do sell some African products, like some earrings and some necklaces already. The dresses, I get them locally, but I also have family when they come over. I ask them to like bring in some stuff for me. So that's really how I'm able to do it. Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know that you are selling it already. I'm just saying that probably you want to open the store. So in the next 5 years, that's another project. Remember 2 years ago, we talked about the cartoon, how we can put all this thing into cartoon so that our children, because one of the ways they are getting our children is through the cartoon. They make sure that they program the mind of our children. So between the age of 6 months to 2 years, the only thing they see on our media space is another cartoon in another language. But that is watching the cartoon that is in a language that is not belong to their parent. And that's easily push them or migrate them into that language and making them believe and feel comfortable in that language than their mother language. All right, so please, those are the things that I'm still looking forward to. I'm watching your space, and I'm believing that as we are continuing in this journey together, is we can achieve that. And let's everybody listen to us around the world. Tell them a bit about the journey that's have been a kind of help to you as a person, as an African woman. The journey that have been one of the things that give you so much joy. I don't know what it is, but I know there's a journey that you can say, thank God I embarked on this journey.
Yeah, I would say, for a while, I think I was trying to learn to love who I am. And I think, having that confidence and accepting 100% who you are, I will say it's so free because I don't pretend to smile or laugh if I don't want to. I'm just living my life just the way I want to. And I think this is a journey that has been very helpful for me today and really helping me keep grounded because I can be really true to who I am at every given moment of my life. And so I think that's a blessing and that's something that keeps me grounded. And Joshua, I just want to say too, thank you for having me on the show. I feel like it's been really one of the things where I'm always reminded, right, about just, sometimes we get busy in our own lives, we don't kind of connect, as much as we connect. And so it's always a reminder that, there's a bigger world outside of you that's happening out there. Connecting, just staying connected, I think is very, very important. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you for having me. And I know, sorry, I probably have to rush soon. I am traveling for work in
Definitely. Definitely. We are running off the section. We have just 1 minute to step out of this section right now. Africa on camera. We really appreciate every one of you that come out to be part of this section. And I want to thank my team in Canada. Thank you for the love. Thank you for believing in this work. And thank you to everyone that have been part of this great journey. I really appreciate every one of you. In South Africa, I thank the team in Victoria, South Africa. God bless every one of you. Dr. Leko, I will see you again. I will keep on putting you on the spotlight because you are doing a great job in Africa and the rest part of the world. Keep it up, keep smiling, keep doing the great work you are doing. I really appreciate it. We celebrate you as a great woman and we say happy Mother's Day to you and happy Women's Month to you. Keep doing the great work. Women have the tools to build our community. So let's support them. Let's empower them. The adage in my language say, when you empower a woman, you are building a community because you cannot build a community without a woman. And that is what we are doing on this program. Thanks to everyone and thanks to Afromedia Canada in conjunction with the African Portal Radio team. See you again soon. God bless you when you release the third book. Enjoy your day. Goodbye. Thank you. And to everyone.
In the
goodbye.
coming show, we will have a guest from South Africa who is both an author and a speaker. The CEO of the African Portal Radio TV International based in